Welcome, Steve.
Hello.
Good to see you, man.
Good morning. I'm great today. Another day of afterglow of an IQ event last night. You know, last week I came in after our 7-year anniversary party, and that's why I was grabbing the coffee so much during that one. But yesterday, this is the last few days of my issue on the stand. I'm sad to see it go. But we've got a really great food truck issue coming out on Thursday, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday. But 2 weeks after that, we've got the barbecue grilling issue that actually comes out on the 4th of July. So last night, we got together in Mike English, my editor's backyard, and all these really great people with good recipes, which is a lot of the staff.
Yes.
And we grilled, and we had summer cocktails, and Wes Naiman and Joy Godfrey were there doing really great photo ops. My signature thing is a giant Jell-O shot in a martini glass. So,
well, hey.
I was like, you guys.
You didn't bring any?
I didn't.
Invite us.
I think we're lucky to see him this morning.
Yeah. So at 9:30, I said, you guys, I have to be on the Brew. I have to go. So here I am, and hopefully I feel fresh-faced today. But yeah, so we've got 2 really fun issues coming up this week. We've got the food truck, and then in 2 more weeks we got the barbecue and grilling. So it's going to be exciting to see how they all turn out.
And the food truck scene has become a really big thing in Albuquerque.
This is going to be a fun issue. I didn't have anything to do with it. You know, it's kind of Justin and Kevin and Mike and all of them, but we put together a good team with the good stuff coming out. So, but enough about me. Enough about this. Let's meet Holly Adams. Here? So,
Holly, welcome
to
the show.
Thank you so much.
You have a very interesting background here that. In the entertainment business. You started out in the world of ballet.
That's correct. Yes, I did.
And tell us about that.
Well, when I was 13, I was kind of unhappy at home. And so, actually, when I was 11, and I started really pouring all of my energy into dance. In dance, you can kind of be a swan or whatever you want. And there's no vocal or any kind of way to talk about it. So it's all interpreted through your physicality. And so I got a scholarship to the San Francisco Ballet at 13. And I went out there and started dancing, and they put me immediately into the shows. And I did that for 5 years.
Wow. I think ballet dancers are tremendous athletes. I really do.
Yes, they are. And it takes extreme discipline, and you just, you know, the stage doesn't lie. If you're not any good, you're not going to be up there. So, you know, you just push forward, and you know, I wasn't the perfect body, the perfect height, but you know what? I was good enough. So it was great. I had a dance career for many, many years, almost 30 years, until my Achilles tendon snapped.
Just like an athlete, you had an injury.
Yes, and I had just gotten a Broadway show, and it was kind of a blessing in disguise because I decided, well, you know, acting, I want to kind of check out acting, and so I loved acting because it's name and lights, no sweat, and you know, as a dancer, you really get no glory. So it was a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah. So what brought you back to New Mexico?
I came to New Mexico because I really wanted to have a child. I didn't want to do that in New York City. I lived in New York for 13 years, from 82 to 95. And I was pushing 40, and I was like, I think I want this kid. I want the house, the backyard, the dog, you know. So I came here.
it's a good place to do it.
Yeah. I suppose New York would be tough to have children.
Yeah, I didn't want to be pushing a stroller in the subway, you know. It just wasn't for me.
So filmmaking is what you've turned to now.
Yes. I took a long break when I had my daughter. She's now 13. And I decided when she was 8 that I needed to follow my passions, because I feel like as a mother, I need to be happy if my daughter's going to be happy. And so when she was 8, I decided to start making movies. Somebody told me I couldn't do it, and I love that.
Good motivation.
You just sit there and watch me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started, I like being behind the camera. I also teach acting. And it's really my passion to get, you know, to make people believe you as an actor. So that's what I do.
That's great. So you do a lot of directing in Albuquerque?
Yes.
What kind of films or what have you been doing?
Well, all of my films have to do with gender issues. I'm a single mom, And I think that it's interesting to kind of explore how the physiology and how it affects our psychology. Like men have an outie, women have an innie, and how does that affect our psychologies?
It affects it profoundly.
Yes. And
Is
I
what it
think that
does.
it's universal. I think that men want to know about women want to know about men.
bet.
We kind of are mysterious about each other, you know, so I find it a really interesting subject.
Right. And you created the Man app out of
Yes.
that.
Yes.
The Man app.
Yes.
What is this all about?
Okay, the Man app is the man of your dreams at the touch of a button. So as women, we oftentimes find, gosh, you know, this is leaking, the kitchen sink is leaking, I need a man, right? So you push the button, the plumber comes, he fixes it, but then you can put him away. And so we find all needs. We need
Get what you
men for all
need
reasons.
from the man and then put him away.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
That makes sense. Got it.
Right.
So it's more, if you're a single woman, it's a help tool.
Yes, it could be a help
Like-
tool, but this is a movie and it's more of a romantic comedy. We created this woman, Alex, who has kind of been raised in a burlesque house, and so she's seen men paw at her mother for, you know, many years. And so she only knows this kind of way that men have treated her mother. And then she finds that her father is a scientist, and she finds that he's figured out particle physics. And so she's decided that she has this wish, you know, I wish I could have this guy, but then I want him to go away. And so she figures out a way to do it. But of course, there are errors in her ways, and so she will have to reckon with that.
I love this question. You were apparently involved in the underground film scene in New York in what, the 80s and 90s? What was that about and what was that like?
It was incredible. These filmmakers decided, you know what, we have Super 8 cameras, we're just going to go out there and make a movie. And a lot of people think, you know, there's the movie business and you just do it like that.
Right.
But these people would take their cameras out on the street and just make movies. And yes, they were a little transgressive. There was a bit of anger there. It was called the cinema of transgression. And so I was picked up as an actress. I did a spoof of Alphaville, Jean-Luc Godard's film, called Betaville.
Wow, yeah.
And it got a little cult following. And it was my first experience as an actor. I had been dancing all my life, and most of my acting was more theatrical, more gesture. And so it was great to get a cult following. So from there I made about maybe 20 other films as an actress until '94 when I decided to make my own short film. And we did it on Super 8, and it has kind of a Graney's 1930s look. And it got picked up by the British Film Institute, so that was really exciting.
So where do you see your future then with filmmaking?
I will be a feature film director. We're actually going to go to the American film market in November to try to sell this idea.
Oh, wow.
We have a feature-length script written. I have an incredible team of people helping me. You can't make movies by yourself.
Yeah.
And so to see the support that has come out of the woodwork in Albuquerque is amazing. So yes, I want to make films and I want to make them here.
Good for us, huh?
Yeah, it is good for us. And you know, there's a lot of recognizable faces in your
Yes.
in the episodes that I've watched, which is really cool because you're seeing these local folks.
Right,
there on the screen
and
with
we
it, so.
have a plethora of talent here, right here in town. And I could not have made this film in New York or LA, you know, for the non-budget that we had. And everyone showed up on time. I mean, we had 12 days of shooting, and our crew showed up diligently and worked, and we were on time, we were on budget. So there's a lot to be said for that.
Are you mostly directing, producing, both?
I direct. I am a director. I'm a film director, and I wrote this with a co-writer.
Wow.
So, and then I produced it. But we had an executive producer who wanted a part in the show. So he contributed the funds, and it was very, very little.
No. And we can currently see your videos online now, right?
Yes. It's theman-app.com, and that's app.com.
Very cool. So
It's
Very
funny.
interesting.
It's
yes,
very funny.
hopefully you're
Yeah.
entertained and it's funny, and that's what we've heard, that it's hilarious, and that's why I've kind of decided, when you put it out there, you never know
Yeah.
if people are going to like it. But it's getting a great response, and so I've decided to not make any more films this year and to really hype this, try to go to the American film market. We will have an Indiegogo campaign where we're raising
Sure.
funds for our trip to LA, and please check it out.
I love it. I love the whole technology mashup thing here. This
Yeah,
is great.
Yes.
yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, I think it's of the times, and I think it's really relevant because we get so tied into our phones that we no longer have conversations.
Yes.
And so I really want to comment on that because we can go so far that direction.
Yes.
And we're texting and talking, but we no longer have
We're
our
not.
connections.
We're not talking.